Hey guys, welcome to the channel. Today's video is going to be quite different than what you guys are used to. You'll notice that we have not posted a video on Friday, and this is the next video. I do have something else that I've prepared, but I'll post that later. What I want to talk about today is how coronavirus is affecting my business as well as many local businesses and businesses across the entire United States and even the world. It is pretty crazy. So before we get started, I do want to say that coronavirus does appear to be a very serious thing, with an average death somewhere around 2 to 3%, which is actually very high for something that spreads so quickly and incubates for so long. That's It's scary, and seeing what's going on over in Italy, as well as what happened in China, and what's still going on throughout the world and in the United States, is definitely something to be concerned about. So, like many of you, we're all going through a different level of chaos with this going on. Like personally, the schools have closed, the daycare has closed. My wife is home trying to work from home because that's how she, makes money, and uh, it's uh, it's it's definitely tough. I'm here today working, and tomorrow I'll have the kids, and it's going to be one of these things that we're trying to coordinate, so each of us can succeed. But it's definitely tough, and I know that there's a lot of you out there who are going through something like crazy too. Uh, and then I know that there's a lot of business owners out there as well who are wondering what the heck is going on and what are other business owners doing, especially with, a lot of places like, trying to close, you know, places, it's crazy. Like the Pennsylvania's recommending everything closed down for 2 weeks, and it's like, this is impossible. But I mean, here we are, and we're trying to mitigate this the best we can. So we're not taking it lightly. We are definitely taking the situation very seriously. As well, I don't necessarily have like a high risk factor for complications from the virus, and my family doesn't really, but I do know people who do, and in my business we come into a lot of people who are over the age of 60 or 65, where the risk gets exponentially worse. And it's very important that we take this into account, that we don't want to spread the virus. We don't want to hurt our community, but at the same time we still need to live. And that's one of the problems that's going on, is there's a balance, and we can't necessarily survive without working. I know that in Congress right now they're talking about passing an act that basically is going to help employers pay for 2 weeks sick days, 14 days of sick time, something like that. But the problem with that is it seems to be all tax credit related. So I wouldn't see that until next year, which is completely horrible, because that's a lot of overhead. That is a whole slew of overhead that, unfortunately, it will drive a lot of businesses to the brink of extinction, to bankruptcy. Uh, that I don't understand how it. I don't think that that's going to work. And as a business owner, I don't get to take part in that because I don't get sick days. So 2 weeks of no money coming in, and having to pay everybody, and the rent that's due, and all the bills that come in, it can overload a lot of businesses. So as a business owner, I'm very concerned about that, and I'm concerned for my fellow business owners that are going to possibly run into the same thing. Um, in fact, I don't know what money they expect it to come from, if it gets to a point where business slows down. Now, I am fortunate that, we are busy. We have a lot of stuff going on, but we also have to limit our exposure to these things. So right now, we're actually making tuning drop off only. In fact, everything's drop off and pick up only, kind of like we're doing with the restaurants. We are making it so you will uh, basically you won't even really be coming inside. If you are coming inside, you would be very fortunate because we're trying to keep the exposure to the shop, to the employees, to everybody to a bare minimum to make sure that we can continue to serve our customers in this very trying time without uh, somebody catching the virus and then we're forced to close. That would be awful. These assholes just started their cars as I'm in the middle of this monologue, so I'm going to go inside. So some of the things that we're doing in the shop to mitigate this exposure is, well, we had somebody that put in 2 weeks notice, and we actually have accepted that notice a little bit early. So hopefully he's moved on to the new business. Because the less people here, the better. Just to be fair, so nobody thinks I screwed him, I did give him the option of doing some work from home things for me that I will pay him for. So it's not like I just said, hey, you're done, like you're out. I want to be fair to everybody. Anybody that can work from home, usually does, but we're in the service side and with a lot to do, so we haven't actually. Well, none of us can really work from home. It kind of is what it is. And what I've done is we've implemented certain things for the shop to, basically keep us free from, exposure and exposing somebody else if we were to get it. And that is, we're not going out to eat. We're getting everything. We're either cooking here or we're bringing our own lunch. That's one of the ways that we're gonna help prevent. Obviously, like we all know about hand sanitization and don't touch your face and stuff like that. So like usually the mechanics and stuff here, they're not touching their face unless it's Johnny, who had a cough and he was home, but he does not have the virus. He's not running a fever, which is one of the big things of the virus. So you have a fever and a dry cough, and like if it's a wet cough, it's probably not coronavirus. Well, I'm sure you guys have seen all that fun stuff. If one of us does eventually test positive for coronavirus, we will likely be closed for 2 weeks, period, and that will really suck because I don't know how we're gonna do it. But that's the business owner, thing. We're gonna, figure it out. And I think everybody's in this at the same time, and hopefully we're going to still be able to support our customers through this, and we'll continue to be able to do that for as long as this thing persists, and hopefully we'll make it through unscathed. But at the same time, stuff's going down. Obviously, you guys have seen that the stock market is taking hits left and right over this, and it sucks because a lot of people's money is tied up in, like, the extra money, the play money is tied up in the stock market, and that's where a lot of this comes from. So it's not like what we do here is something that you have to do. We're not selling commodities here. We are definitely selling your extracurricular activities, and I'm also hoping that the business doesn't take a massive downturn. Now, we do have our online side, which tends to work better during recession times, where people do their own installs, and we got the new CSP header. Shameless plug. But there's certain things that I don't want to have to let go of anybody, and I don't think any business wants to have to let go of anybody. So if you guys do have friends that have small businesses, see if you can support them in this time. And if you are a customer of Complete Street Performance, please bear with us during this time, as it is crazy. You know, I have really good customers that came here. You know, one one today that, you know, I had to say, hey, we're not letting anybody inside, and it's nuts, and I feel horrible about it. But this is the policy that, you know, I put in place in order to make sure that, you know, things, we can mitigate this as well as possible. So I hope you guys do the same, and I hope you guys take care, and I hope that, you know, we make it for the long haul, because I love doing this, and my guys, I think, love doing this, and, you know, we we want to keep doing this, and I I can't believe that this virus is one of the things that is coming in our way of doing it. I never would expect a virus to do this, but here we are. Okay, thanks for watching. Hopefully we'll see you on the next video. Adios.